Every child in Valorant has heard the tale before about the cursed mommy boy who felt his heart no more. So sad and lorn, the helpless lad, Mimaw was his name. He ventured out to find a
Oh,
friend and learn about.
Hello. All right. Sorry for the delay. I had to fix something with the website. I made the stats work, but I somehow managed to break like everything else. So, uh, not like the worst thing I possibly could have done, but certainly a bit annoying and caused a slight delay. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up some player highlights before we get into the first game. Uh, as most of you should know, this game is actually not being cast live, so uh, might be a little bit different. When we go to draft, all the picks are going to be visible immediately, and the game is going to load in much faster because I'm loading from a replay file and not waiting on a lobby. Zach, you should be able to see my screen. Let me know if you can't.
yeah, I can see it.
All right. All right, so first player I want to spotlight is Anne. They played some jungle and some mid on Wednesday in the previous game. I'm not sure which role they're going to end up playing in this series. They do have 119 games in scrims, which is pretty ridiculous. 51.3% win rate. Only 31 different champions. So they have about 4 games on average for across their champions. So they do like to play a lot of the same champions over and over again. The Diana, Zac, Kayn, some of their most played, but Silas is also a really, really powerful champion right now in the meta. So if they do end up mid lane and get that Silas, could be something to be afraid of potentially. Then taking a quick look at Cam, first thing that jumps out to me is that Sivir is high up on his list of played champions. He typically is the top laner for this team, so we might see more of that like Wukong and Pantheon that are showing up there, but just something to potentially look out for. He has about 59 games played, 47.5% win rate, 2.62 KDA, and 38 champs. So he pretty much plays a new champ every game, averaging, I think, about 1.5 games per champion, which is pretty low. And then, just real quick, key matchup is between Dave and Stanley in the bot lane. These players have played against each other 4 times. Both are pretty formidable bot laners in their own right. Stanley is 3-1 in this matchup, though. Both of them having played Victor bot. I believe the Victor was picked away from Stanley in that game that Dave played it. But Stanley has an impressive 4.36 KD in the matchup, so we'll see if he's able to kind of maintain that, I guess, like track record against them. And then here are the champions to watch going into draft. What are your thoughts on if any of these champions are particularly strong or weak right now, or how this might affect draft?
Just commenting on what we just saw, I think it's interesting that Stanley doesn't play um, the standard AD carries, it seems. I know he plays a lot of Jhin, but it doesn't seem like he plays many of those standard right-click AD carries, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I know he has a couple games on Samira as well, but typically we will probably see those mages come out for him. Same with Dave, actually. I think uh, his top ADCs included Katarina and Brand, so
Hmm.
could see a spicy bot lane from either team.
Yeah. I try not to put too much stock into some of the high KDA champions here with low match or with low plays, I guess. But the one that stands out to me for sure is the Nami, and we know Nami is S tier right now, very strong pick.
Yeah, especially because that's the featured champion for both teams. So a lot of prio on that pick. Probably going to get banned out by red side or first picked, I would have to guess, but you could probably say the same about like Victor or Swain or a few champions. I know there's a lot of champ pool overlap across these two teams.
Yeah, I think if for some reason um, Mimaw doesn't ban the Nami, I would imagine they'd have some kind of counter pick, like aggressive lane planned for it.
True. I think we should probably head into drafts. I think just checking that it loaded correctly. Okay, looks like if we swap over, it will be already completed for us. So I believe the ASOL ban was a penalty ban. I don't think they assumed that there's an ASOL player. Aatrox, I'm not actually sure who that is against on Mimaw's. I'm going to maybe try to stock some OPGGs, but Vi is pretty obviously against Gould. He's known for being like almost a one-trick on Vi. And then Kane against both Ann and Jake hits both of them. I think it's Jake's highest Mastery Champion overall, and it's also pretty high up for Ann. Victor is a obvious one for Stanley, and the Viego's probably targeting Ann because they had a quite impressive performance on it last season.
This Mimaw's Kittens draft is insane.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it looks
disgusting.
like they just said, what are the most powerful 5 champions in the meta, and they picked them all. Didn't matter where they sent, you know, there's nothing normal about this draft as far as like a standard draft, but it is 5 extremely powerful champions.
Yeah, which champion goes where, do you think? They have 3 junglers, and like, I just don't know.
Swain with Seraphine bot for me makes the most sense.
I agree with that.
Either Wukong or Volibear in mid lane, which would be pretty atypical.
So you're saying there's no shot that we have a Diana mid, or?
Diana mid just... I mean, technically, yes. It could be, right?
Yeah.
But I just see her in the jungle. Wukong, I would see in a lane, because I've seen a lot of people playing Wukong top. I've seen more people playing Wukong top than I've seen Diana playing mid, but who knows? I don't know these players very well, so you know, I won't be surprised if it does show up mid.
Yeah, I would be almost 100% certain that Seraphine is going to be for Mimi and the Swain is going to be for Dave, because I know both of those 2 players really enjoy playing those champions. Just to add some context, I believe the Aatrox ban was against Toppy. I know they're pretty new to the server, so I'm not too sure about what they play, but Aatrox is showing up. Cam has also played a few games of it in the past couple days, and I know there was some banter in all chat about Mimi's Aatrox being strong, to which someone said, don't worry, no one's going to ban your Aatrox, and then her Aatrox has gotten banned here. Obviously, I see no other outcome. Do you think it's going to be the Zillion Nami bot lane for Janley here?
Yeah, just
I think it's almost got to be.
Our matchup with them the other day, I would say they definitely showed that they like to play the double caster bottom lanes. So it wouldn't surprise me. Jax has to be going top, right?
Yeah, almost for sure.
Well, it'll be interesting. I think Jax would do well into the Wukong later on, but early it still be sort of a tough lane for the Jax. Jax would not have fun versus Swain, or I imagine even Volibear early.
Pretty sure Jax like completely slams Volibear, because I think he's able to trade into him pretty evenly in the early lane and then just dominates him later on. He outsplit pushes him and will be able to outduel him. I think something that could be concerning is if it's going to be Volibear jungle and they pick the Jax to counter Volibear, but I don't think Jax has a terrible matchup late game into any of these champions. Just based on what I know about these players, it could be Wukong mid on cam, but I honestly don't want to like say anything with any level of certainty, because those top 3 champions could really go anywhere. I'd say Diana's probably not going to go top, and Volibear's probably not going to go mid, but I might even be wrong about that.
I just hope we get to see a banger, regardless of where these champions go.
True. I think the pick order is actually pretty interesting here. Swain being picked up first obviously makes a lot of sense. I think of the 3 like OP picks for both teams, if the Swain, Nami, and Victor, Janley had the choice to try and ban one, but then they wouldn't get one of them in return. So Choosing to ban Vi, which leaves up both Swain and Nami, guarantees that they get at least one of those picks. I think ideally for them, they would have been able to leave up Swain, Victor, and Nami, but Mimaw's took that one away, so we see the trade of Swain and Nami. Mimaw's got their choice of which of those they wanted, picked the Swain. I think after seeing the match on Wednesday, it's pretty easy to understand why. So Janley responds, grabs the Nami. I think they just immediately draft the Nami Zillion bot lane. I'm not sure if that's because they can blind it mid and it got banned against them a lot on Wednesday, or because they think Nami Zillion is some like hidden tech counter to Swain. Either could probably be true. I think the 99% slow put on Swain is pretty big. And then Diana Wukong, I feel like probably just flex picks there. I'm not sure if they knew for sure. And then Sylas picked into that. You get Swain ult for Sylas, Wukong ult for Sylas, Diana ult for Sylas. It's a beautiful pick, and that champion is just kind of OP anyway, so picking him first round is huge. It directly counters Diana mid lane. If it's Volibear or Wukong mid, I don't know for sure. Swain mid, it definitely counters, and if Seraphine ends up going mid, which odds of that are quite low, I think it would also win that lane, so Janley appears to just have a winning mid lane regardless here. Nocturne is probably going to Jake, but I know Anne can play it as well. So I don't know. The rest of the draft seems to make a fair amount of sense. Volibear is just a really good jungle champion, or I guess top if you want to blind it. Just surprised that Seraphine got so far into the draft. I would think that it would have gotten picked up instead of the Diana or Wukong pick, but they could have just been expecting a ban on one of those champions and not on the Seraphine.
Which team would you say has more of their comfort picks? Because I always am a big fan of people playing what they know.
Janley for sure. Zillion, Nami, and Sylas, I think, are like the most played champion in scrims for Stanley and Jacob, and then Sylas is Anne's fourth most played in scrims. I know Jackson's played Jax before. I don't know how comfortable it is for him, but I know it's definitely not a new pick. The only thing I'm unsure of is the Nocturne. And then I know Mimaw's, if Gould is not on Vi or Kha'Zix, he's definitely on a champion he doesn't play as much of. I just got a DM from Anne. You're high off your ass thinking Sylas counters Diana. It was true at one point. I also think the sample size of whatever data they just sent me has got to be nothing. No one plays Diana mid, so I'm just going to stand by what I said.
It's hard to know also just because, I mean, we don't know where any of these champs are going so far. We don't know, I don't know personally anyone's comfort level in these picks. I think it's just going to be volatile lanes. And then junglers always come into play too. You know, these days it's a 2v2 in the solo lanes half the time.
True.
So.
Alright. I believe the replay file should be opening up soon. Apparently it is a 400 plus game sample size, so maybe I'm just wrong. I'm getting pinged in general, it seems like. Oh, Seraphine got through. True. Surprised at that happening. But yeah, I think Cam getting Wukong is huge for comfort, and then the Swain and Seraphine are also comfort, but I don't think they're the same level as comfort as you'd get from the Nami Zillion and Sylas.
I think it's such a smart draft from Mimaw's though to take the Seraphine and the Swain, because we saw obviously in the game versus Closeted Furries, the Swain already is so strong. With the Seraphine, he's basically unkillable. The healing is just too much, even with grievous wounds.
Yep. Okay, I am able to be in game. I will swap over the stream. Alright. hopefully that is easily visible for you.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, cool.
Knock, knock.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
The moon. It's far away.
So
You were
Swain
alone the whole time.
mid, or no, maybe the Swain's bottom, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yep, there
All
we
right,
go.
so
We can see
Diana
Matt.
mid, and then everything makes sense past that.
Because it burns them alive.
Feel like Wukong and Volibear probably could have gone either or. The Ghost TP for Volibear is new. I feel like I haven't seen that personally. I definitely prefer having the ability to flash on Volibear just when I play him. It gives you a lot of like early all-in power. You can just pop Q flash and then basically just full combo them.
Yeah, I always like being able to go over walls, and in his case, he would have to blow his ultimate, which is pretty big.
Yeah, the monkey, however, can just go through walls now. Good buff for Riot Games. Now he's a OP jungler, so we'll see how Gould plays him.
That's honestly one of the most insane buffs I've ever seen a champion get.
True, I'm trying to think of like what would even be comparable besides like a mini rework. I feel like not much. I'm just wondering how much experience Jake has on the Nocturne pick, because I know Anne has played a decent amount of it. It will just be interesting to see how he plays around his ultimate, because I think there could be a lot done if you kind of play towards the Sylas. Getting a huge lead on that champion early would be kind of disgusting. I think there could be like a bit of a weakness here for Janley's comp, because they don't have like too much team fight power, because you have two like melee carries in the JACs and Sylas, or yeah, the JACs and Sylas, as well as the Nocturne, that kind of suffer into the range of the Swain and Seraphine comp. Toppy's making some aggressive play here, yeah.
And the mid lane, Diana is pulling the Sylas pretty hard as well.
Yeah, Anne's kept down to like 6 CS so far in the game. You hate to see it.
There is no exhaust on the side of Mimaw's.
True, and we do have one on the Zillion. It would definitely shut down whichever of Jack's, Nocturne, or Sylas you were more scared of, but I don't think they suffered too much by not having it.
I think they wanted the. You could see why they would want the double ignite for the Sylas healing in Army, obviously, but
Yeah.
the Jax. Having the exhaust for the Jax and the Nocturne definitely is helpful for sure. I'm surprised that the Zillion Nami bot lane is doing so well early on.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is just Stanley's experience on the Zillion. He just really knows how to farm correctly and can play around the wave really well. I don't know how much mastery he has on the champ. I'd probably guess like 270k. Someone can probably fact check me on that, but definitely knows what he's doing.
I've been wanting to see it. I think we banned it all 3 games versus them.
I agree.
But
I mean, I guess now we get to see if it's worth the ban or not.
yeah.
Jackson is actually managing to outfarm, even though it looks like he was just low health that entire lane, managing to be up 5 CS. And he will appear to have even more. Jacob says it's a 224,000 on the Zillion. I was damn close. I'm taking credit for that one. The trades in both top and mid lane seem to be pretty heavy favored towards Mimaw's, and I do like their comp better in the late game, so hopefully Janley finds a way to like make some creative plays around the Nocturne ultimate to kind of snowball either Jax or Sylas to be able to get picks. But in a 5v5, I think Mimaw's easily wins every time. They have insane teamfight ultimates on literally every champion on their team.
Yeah. And I like Zillion with Nocturne.
Yep, okay. That is exactly what we were talking about. Play comes down. Jake comes and ganks, is able to get the kill on Cam, but Cam gets a kill in return, which is not ideal for Janley, but great of him to be able to get a kill in the 1v2. Oh, and
Yeah,
he's
the
going to come back
Diana.
into lane with an alternator and a dark seal.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It was a good and Diana winning early is pretty scary because
Yeah.
it only gets worse.
Yeah, I feel like mid lane might just kind of be sunk now. That's a 15 CS lead. Anne only comes back with 2 lost chapters, or not 2 lost chapters, 2 amp tomes. So we could see Jake play really heavily around the JACs. Diana's sitting on ultimate here, and Anne is only level 5, so does not have the ability to steal it out. Now down a 2-level deficit. Could be scary.
Where do you use your first level 6 Nocturnal here?
I think on the Volibear 100%. The Jax have been able to play the lane pretty well, and I think the Volibear is probably going to look to push in a lot, so you have a huge opportunity to get a kill there, especially because he doesn't have the flash as a defensive tool. I just don't think Anne is going to be able to outplay Diana to the extent that they need to make it worth it. Actually, Jackson might just be able to get a solo kill here. He pops ulti. Toppy is still sitting on ult and decides to use it and is able to turn the fight. That one was so close.
Wow. Honestly, when Volley didn't get the kill early, I thought it was doomed. He pulls it out with, what, 20 HP?
Yeah, that was
Great
ridiculous.
done there.
I think saving the ult for that late in the fight was actually pretty smart because Jackson gets really confident there, thinks he's just going to win it, and then you just press R and it's over for him.
Who's gonna build the Grievous on the side of Janley?
Nami, probably. I think we would have to see a Putrefier there and just hope that the rest of your team's going to be able to apply it. No one else has the AoE required for it to be a good purchase. Jake's still only level 5. It'll be interesting to see if Cam's able to help this fight, but...
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that's just another kill picked up onto the Nocturne.
Yeah, it was smart from Nocturne, actually knowing he could get the kill pre-6 there.
And then if he's going to be sitting on 2 kills on any ults for the first time, that's going to be terrifying for whoever he lands on. Or he's just going to get caught out here. This is a 2v2, but Anne has no health. Diana has ultimate here. Gould blows the flash. Yeah, it looks like nothing's just going to happen.
Oh.
Okay, that's both summoner spells burned from Swain. Should be a kill onto the Nami, but Stanley's probably going to get out here. Gets pulled and doesn't ult himself.
Doesn't ult
I think he was only level 5.
Yeah.
And that was a solo kill in the mid lane. Oh, Stanley was level 6. For some reason, he didn't have ultimate available. Maybe he didn't level it?
You think it was a fat finger level?
Maybe. Fat fingered non-R, yeah. Okay, and Cam just stomps on Anne. The CS gap mid is ridiculous.
The CS gap, man, this Diana is impressive.
Yes.
To dominate in the early stages, to get that big of a CS lead.
Yeah, especially because I feel like all the jungle pressure's been from the side of Janley too. So you have to like basically 1v2 the entire lane and you still end up 30 CS and 2 kills.
I feel bad. I take back everything I said about the Diana not going mid.
Definitely working out.
I was saying earlier, before that fight broke out bottom, that I think if I were Nocturne, I'd be so happy to gank bottom knowing I have the Zillion ult so that I could just go dive as hard under the tower as I want, knowing I can get out free. But now, with those 2 kills that just went to the Swain and the Seraphine, it might not be as free as it would have.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rough. Oh, was I just locked on? Oops. Okay, we'll watch the top lane fight. I may have been locked on Diana that whole time. Alright. So Jackson seems to engage this one. Takes a lot of damage. Disengages a little bit. Toppy's able to pick up the stun. Jax gets the counter-strike. Is able to dodge out of the Volibear ulti, but he just has nothing to jump to here. His ward's on cooldown and the minion wave isn't close enough. He definitely will end up winning this matchup later on in the game, but not this early.
He needs a Triforce, I think. That's when I was originally talking about it. I was thinking when Jax hits Triforce, he starts to kind of be able to take those fights. I just feel like Volley's damage early, his base damage is
Yeah, it's
so high.
ridiculous. That empowered W like just cuts through people, and the E, even without too many points in it, just does a lot of damage. Jake seems to be going for this. I think with no ulti, he should just kill the Volibear.
What?
It looks like he just blew all of his damage into
Oh my-
Volibear's shield. And the
This
ghost comes
Volibear's
out.
menace.
Jackson might be able to save
Oh.
it here. The movement speed from the Nocturne.
There's no way
field
he
is
gets
there,
out.
And he just walks away.
There's no way he gets out.
And might be able to pick it up.
There's
The
no-
blast code? Okay, Anne's able to get the kill, but is for sure going to die in return. This might be another kill for Cam. Jackson's just staying to hit the Herald, but he should be able to just walk out.
You know
That's
what, D?
ridiculous.
I think we just learned why Volibear took Ghost.
True.
Man, I cannot believe he literally almost got out of that.
Yeah, I'm just amazed the Nocturne wasn't able to get the kill there.
Yep. And Volley did have a 2-level advantage, but he even took a couple of tower shots, at least one tower shot.
Yeah, I think the issue was how much damage got thrown into the shield. Because when you're autoing Volibear's shield and Volibear gets to trade back into you, and you're not actually decreasing his health bar, it's a pretty rough situation for you.
I didn't see the items that Volley had. I'm sure he had the bombies probably.
Yeah, I think it might have just been health. Okay, and Jake just dies there. Stanley gets picked up by the charm. Does have ulti here, pops it. But I think they're both just going to die here. Anne can try and salvage this, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, what a bomb. What a double bomb there.
Okay, Anne picks up the shutdown of the Diana, which is actually pretty huge. But we are just fighting melee range on Sylas. Okay, Anne picks up another kill, but I don't think... Actually, he also has Sylas ulti, so he might be able to win this. Alright, that's a triple kill for Sylas. That was really well played.
And always, despite having a rough lane, comes back into the game. I don't know what it is. I feel like he just takes really good fights. Like he knows when he can win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is, you know, when you're really good at jungle, you're good at knowing when to gank a lane, right?
Yeah.
So you're just playing like jungle, but instead of farming jungle camps, you're farming mid minions.
I'm reading the chat.
Yeah.
That is very true. If you can't get Swain, you just go the second best thing, Sylas as Swain.
Yep. They seem to be pretty confident that the Swain is better. I think that is a little bit true. You have the E with the low cooldown during Swain ulti, but we will see. I think they think this fight is better than it is. Volibear should be able to just win this, and Diana's going to come anyway. Jax is able to dodge out of the ulti again. Hops back to tower. I don't think they have vision on Cam. Cam should just be able to hop in. Oh, just lights up Jackson. Does not need to burn the ulti there. And here's the Swain ulti. Jacob gets hit by the charm. Stanley's trying to get some damage out into Seraphine, but it might not be enough. Oh, actually, that's a kill into Seraphine. Well played by Stanley, but he's probably just going to die. Gets to burn Swain's flash for it. I think that all this ulti is going to do is just stall it out, though. Especially with his flash down. Dave is like deadly accurate with these Swainies. Makes it really hard to play the game into them.
You can't blink every second it's a fight.
And yeah, and makes good use of the Diana ulti to secure that one. Cam almost just solo killed Jackson though. He's down to like sub 100 HP. Tries to make a play on the Cam and doesn't get it because Cam just presses R as soon as he goes in. I respect the effort. It was actually pretty close, but if Cam didn't have ulti, it could have been big.
With that shield though on Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diana should be fine.
This game is so fast paced. It's almost a kill per minute for Mimaws.
And there's about a 4K gold lead already at 15 minutes for Mimaw as well.
Yeah, I feel like the longer the game goes on and the more items get built, the more it becomes evident that Janley just isn't going to have any damage. We have 2 Everfrosts and a Divine Sunderer. Not exactly the highest damage mythics that you could have on your team. I think this is definitely a comp where having a traditional ADC would be super worth it. I feel like maybe like the Samira paired in there could be really big. They try an all death ball on you, you wait it out, then smear through all of them. But I don't know.
I think there is an angle for Janley here, and that's to keep Jax in a side lane if he can get strong enough to 1v1 the volley, and Nocturne can farm a side lane.
That CC chain was disgusting. An's able to just pick up the kill for that one.
Crazy.
Has the Seraphine ulti, but that the Diana almost just one-shot the whole team. And Dave comes in with the late Swain ulti. An's able to pick up the dragon. You know, that jungle experience coming in handy, but that's a 4 for 2.
And it actually went a little bit better than I thought it would for Janley. And I was just about to say, the one thing that Janley doesn't want to do is fight a 5v5. And it technically wasn't a 5v5 because Jax was splitting, but...
he's able to get the tower out of it, so that's definitely how you want to play the split push game. Because you're really trading 2 kills a dragon and a tower for 4 kills, which isn't actually that terrible of a trade. Because the gold lead, it got cut down a little bit, except for that tower going down. That kind of undid it, but...
Yeah, it's pretty big that Janley got that first Drake, so that it prolongs the soul, which gives them more time to kind of come back into the game. But Jax definitely needs to stay in the side lane. Nocturne can pick up the side lane waves too with his ultimate. And then the 3-man of Janley just has to be really careful not to get engaged on, because all Mimaw has to do is press their R buttons.
Yeah, it looks like Jax is actually going to be in the mid lane with the bot lane, which is pretty interesting. We have the Silas in Nocturne split pushing. Probably not what you want to see, especially with how many teamfight ultimates there are on the side of Mimaw's, and could just grab any one of them and turn that 3-man comp into something scarier, but is not actually doing that. If you have 2 people on the side lane, that's actually very scary for Janley, because one of them's probably going to get matched by the Diana, and no one beats her. So, rough situation overall.
Yeah, absolutely not. Right now, this Diana is a raid boss.
Yep. 4-man collapse coming on the top with the Rift Herald could be a big fight, but looks like they're just trying to peel the Rift Herald off the tower, not necessarily looking to fight. And just loses here. I don't know why they went for that.
He really wanted to make something happen there, because he just didn't want to get kind of slowly poked out, but...
Jake's just dead there. TV coming from Jax, I feel like it's probably kind of useless, because that's just going to be the easy route CC chain. Flash gets interrupted by the stun. tower gets disabled, so this probably is going to be 2 or 3 additional kills. Stanley drops the ulti down onto the JACs, is able to get the resurrect, but now doesn't have it for himself. Cam has just been pushing bot non-stop. That is 4 kills total. This honestly could just be like a game-ending situation right here. They rotate onto Baron and then push out the rest of it. And pop Swain ulti and will probably just stay out of range of most of them. This feels like they're over-forcing. There's no way these two players beat the entirety of Mimaw's Kittens. They're able to pick up one, but they're both going to get killed on the back of it.
I think they were just trying to make a desperation play because they know once Mimaw goes back and spends all their gold, the deficit's just too huge at that point.
Yeah.
They won't win any more fights. And I think what you were saying about Jack's TPing back probably was a mistake, but at that point, he isn't going to get to the inhib anyway. So I think he just feels like, well, maybe I can stop them from getting an inhib because there's no way I make it to the inhib.
Yeah. I think the difference between TPing there and backing is if you back, you're going to be there like 5 or 6 seconds later, but you're able to enter in the fight of a position of your choosing. Whereas if you TP to the wave right in front of them, especially with like Swain and Seraphine, you're just going to get rooted up, which is pretty tough to deal with.
And I'm not surprised that they don't come over here and even check the Baron, because even if they do find them doing it, it's not like they can do much.
Yeah. Looking at the inventories, that was disgusting. I just saw like 3 or 4 completed items show up. Shadow Flame, Crystal Scepter, Oblivion Orb, I think maybe some components as well. I know that Death Stance got completed. That is just disgusting. I don't think this team's beatable anymore. You have to hope that they like really blunder the game to lose it. I definitely came into the season thinking that Mimaw was the strongest team. This performance right here is making me stick to that belief. We'll have to see how the rest of the series goes, so.
They've definitely looked great this game. Even when we were, talking about the game early on, we were saying, Jax probably beats the Volley Bear, and I thought the Volley Bear did a great job. He's not the star of the show this game. I'd say there's been just such a great performance from the Diana and the Swain, but
yeah.
I think he did his job for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those fights were pretty close. It just seems like the Jax was going for too much too early because he knew it was a good matchup for him and didn't consider the fact that Volibear is just kind of busted in the early game. Definitely been there before, though. Like, always happens when you play into, like, Renekton, Darius, Volibear, you're like, oh, I can just stomp them. I win in the late game, and then it does not quite go that way.
So Ant's got the Swain ult again. I imagine we're going to see a fight here. They have to. I mean, realistically.
Right. I mean, it's you get something here, you have a turret to help you at least, or you just kind of let them walk in and end the game. Because if they get this one, then they get the inhib, and then you're triple inhibbed, and you just have no way out. The double, whatever they're called. I'll just call them big minions. Very hard to deal with. Super minions.
Big boys.
There we go. Jackson appears to just be getting picked here. He lives for a decent amount of time. He's actually able to get a triple stun into a Nami bubble. That was pretty cool, but
wow,
the actual Swain appears to be doing better than the fake Swain.
I'm honestly just surprised that there's no way he can win this, right?
I don't think so. Almost got 3 though. That would have been ridiculous.
That was way better than I expected it
Yeah.
to, though. Honestly.
Yeah, GG's coming in chat, but I don't know. And tried their best there. I think the Silas pick was really strong. It's just the rest of the team just didn't really have the prolonged damage that they needed to actually win fights. Hate to see it.
And the bot lane started off, I thought, pretty well for the Zilean Nami. It's just somewhere, I think that first gank where the Zilean wasn't able to ult himself
Yeah.
because he didn't take the R at level 6. I think that was just an unfortunate situation, and from there, bot lane just kind of snowballed for the Swain and the Seraphine.
Yeah, getting 2 kills instead of one apiece on Swain and Seraphine just makes the game very hard to play past that point. I will grab the assets for the next game shortly. I think MVP of that game has got to be the Diana, right? Don't
Yeah.
know who else would be more deserving. The Swain did a lot, but the Diana kind of snowballed the game earlier on and harder, at least from what I could tell.
Yeah, and I expected the Seraphine and the Swain to win their lane, and I didn't necessarily expect Diana to kind of smash her lane so hard early. I will say, the Silas definitely came back and was definitely the best player on his team that game, but the early game didn't go well for him, and I'd give it to. It wasn't a shutout by the Diana, but she was the clear MVP.
Yeah, I feel the same. Everyone on Mimaw's played that game like pretty insane. No like obvious flaws on any of the players. Got champions that they seemed pretty comfortable with, and they just kind of played exactly how they needed to. Skirmished the early game probably better than they needed to, but they had an insane late game composition, and all their team fights just looked good. Exactly what they needed to be doing. Believe Cam was telling me earlier that he had not played Diana in scrims before. I think that is a great way to start that off. So even though he didn't have that comfort that we were talking about earlier, he seemed to not necessarily need it to have a good lane. I think also the pure amount of flex picks that were on that team makes it really hard to draft against them because you can pick lanes that should hypothetically be good, but you don't actually know who you're playing into, which kind of makes it tough to really know what's going to happen during the game.
Yeah, I would like to know their thinking behind the draft. I really do believe it's 5 just incredibly strong champions in the meta at the moment, and it'd be super funny if that was their motivation for picking it. It's just like, oh, all these champions are at the top of the tier list. Let's lock it in and press R. But I imagine there was definitely some uh after seeing if anybody saw the Closeted Furries game, taking the Seraphine and the Swain away was a smart move for sure.
True. I don't know. I am trying to think how draft will go next game. I think Janley almost definitely would have taken blue side after that one because then they get their kind of first shot at those champions. But it's possible they could go for another red side and try and grab that Silas again and kind of get another good top lane matchup for Jackson. But it didn't quite pan out as well as they might want it to go for it again. We'll have to see. I don't exactly know what the blue side win rate has been this season, but it's something disgusting for sure. The amount of times blue side just wins is pretty ridiculous. I will have to check the draft link to know who has which one. Okay, yeah, it looks like Janley did pick blue team or blue side. Trying to figure out who played what lane. I believe Anne went into the jungle after that one, which would mean Stanley mid and Jake ADC. And then Mimaw's, I guess, probably ran the same positions. I'm not entirely sure. Just kind of making some guesswork here. I definitely know the roster for Janley a lot better than I do Mimaw's, especially because they got Topian as their new substitute, who has definitely had a pretty good showing for their first couple of scrims games.
I'd say so. Yeah, we'll have to see if Mimas bans the Swain. I think they will, but if they don't, they probably have something in mind for it.
Right. I mean, the
Count.
Silas pick wasn't terrible into it. I think it was a pretty good way to deal with it. Just having it compositionally on your team allows you to have a pretty similar, scary team fighter. I just don't think the rest of the draft had enough range to really play around the swing correctly. Because Zillion, while he is a ranged character technically, he needs to play at a pretty close range to land bombs. And then Silas and Nocturne and Jax are all just actually melee. So not dealing with a very easy fight there.
You think
Right.
we'll see the Zillion come out if he moves to mid lane?
I mean, definitely. I think it's always on the table for sure. Okay, so Champions to Watch should be up on the screen right now. Toppy now has that Volibear in there. And Gould's Wukong has replaced the other one. And then Cam 3-0 on Fizz. Probably not going to see it again. He does not really like playing the same champions. Same thing with Dave. That Ashe is kind of like disgusting stats wise, but he likes to keep it mixed up, so probably won't see it again. If Anne's in the jungle, they might try to put like first pick prio onto the Diana, because I know that champion is pretty strong, but we could also see it banned out. I think what is likely going to happen is that Mimaw is going to ban the Victor and the Nami, or the Victor and the Swain, and we might see a Nami first pick, but not entirely sure. Just
The
gonna.
Lally pick is interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just has a generally like pretty good split pushing playstyle, and Alawi kind of caters to that. It allows him to play like really confident early on in lane, and then carry on how he likes to play his macro throughout the rest of the match. And then here's a highlight on Dave. I guess as I was saying, he has 77 games, 33 champs, so that is actually over 2 games per champ on average, but still a wide variety for that amount of games. 55% win rate about, and then a 3.19 KD. That's pretty impressive. Got to give credit there. Jake is actually the highlighted player on the other team. He has 6 games played, 33.3% win rate, KDA of 2.64, and 5 champs played. I guess you can see all 5 of them right there. And then the featured matchup, now that we've done the lane swap, is going to be Anne versus Gould in the jungle. So the overall stats for Anne, pretty impressive. A lot of games. Anne has a positive win rate. Gould is at 2-9 in the jungle, and has lost both games they've played against Anne, and being on Viego for both games with the impressive 4.38 KDA. So just going to swing over to draft. I was correct. Swain and Victor banned Nami first pick. It looks like they took advantage of the Seraphine slipping through draft there. The Katarina was banned over the Seraphine, which I think is pretty interesting. Katarina bot, I think, is definitely good. Dave has made it work pretty consistently, so I don't think it's something that you need to not respect at all, but that Seraphine is definitely way more terrifying just as a champion overall right now. I think, especially post-durability, Katarina has kind of suffered.
You know, if you had hidden the Scrim overlay, and I didn't know we were streaming one of the matches, I would guess that this was a random ARAM comp for both for Mimaws especially.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just going to be Vel'Koz mid, Jhin Nami bot, but Mordekaiser jungle, I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I've heard some people say it's really good, some people say it's kind of mid. I don't know what the actual like correct take is. I know Anne's been playing a lot of it and thinks it is quite strong, so we'll have to see if it really pans out there. It was picked as a counter pick into Jarvan, so I'm going to assume they have some sort of matchup knowledge on that that we may or may not know about. I think especially with that Kayn banned, that's probably what they would have picked into Jarvan otherwise if it wasn't banned. Nyla obviously sees Mordekaiser and Nectin. I guess not Cam, but their team sees that. If you can block those auto attacks for all the champions, that is pretty ridiculous. And then they grab the set there, probably to counter the Renekton. I'm not like 100% on the matchup. I think there's some definite strengths for both. I think Set can probably outbox him a little bit, but Renekton's ability to shred through Set's shield makes it a pretty tough match to play for both laners. Seraphine Nihilist seems pretty disgusting. The amount of shielding and healing just getting, what is it, like doubled? I don't know, that champion's kind of gross. And then we actually do get to see Cam's Echo. I know that's been banned against him a lot. I think it's interesting that Warwick and Ornn were the bans. I'm not sure. Warwick might be a hard counter to Renekton, so I might need to fill me in on that one, but Ornn's a
By the
pretty
way,
obvious one.
I take back what I said, by the way, about the ARM thing. Okay, I thought the Neela was Nidalee. And
Oh,
it's kind of blurry for me because I'm watching the Discord stream and I see the N-I and I can't really make out the rest.
gotcha.
Okay, it makes more sense now when you said the name. That makes more sense. It's not a random Nidalee they threw in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like for sure not used to seeing this champion, so I think that's a pretty fair thing.
She kind of looks like Nidalee, you know, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I agree. She at least like looks like a weird champion to have in the ADC position. I think it's just not being used to her yet, though. I believe Cam will probably hard smash the Vel'Koz. His Echo is quite good. But Stanley is on a traditional ADC here. Or I guess not Stanley because lane swap, but Jake is on a traditional ADC here, which could change their composition, but it kind of looks like they're all kind of like all over the place. Because I don't really see what like their identity is, because Vel'Koz is a pretty good team fighter, but you don't really have too many other team fighting champs to kind of support him. Mimaw's looks like they're going to blow you up and then follow up with like the Jarvan Seraphine ulti, so it just seems really tough to play into Mimaw's here.
Man, I really wish Mimaws would have picked Bard. Bard counters Jhin and Vel'Koz. You just ult them when they
True.
set up their artillery ults.
Yeah, I will
And
say that would completely undo what you were talking about the other game with Comfort. I would
Yep.
be surprised if Michaela has played that champion ever, but
Yep.
we'll have to see.
No, definitely not worth first timing Bard in a
Yeah.
match like this, but
I actually
do like
got
the
a paragraph in my DMs explaining the draft. I'm going to ask right here if I'm allowed to say it or not. I think,
inside knowledge.
yeah, I think typing in a Neela into the champion asset generator might like break it, but I will try and see if I can get it to work. Yeah, that's a hard no. I don't believe I've added Neela to it yet. Yeah, okay. Well, worth a shot. So yeah, I'm not going to get matchup statistics for this game, but that is fine. We can just hop right into the game. I'm getting a response about whether or not I'm allowed to share this particular tidbit of information. I can say it. Okay. I will explain bans 2 and 3, or blue 2, 3 of draft now. What do we want bot into Seraphine with Nami? I don't know. Okay, let's grab Mord as a flex while we're thinking. What do you want bot? I don't know. What are we picking? What are we picking? What are we picking? You can just give me your Renekton, I guess. I mean, do we want the flex alive? What do you want bot? And then they typed not mad like 80 billion times. And they said, you can say it, it's true. So I think we're seeing a bit of like an internal struggle on this team. Could be interesting to see if that poor communication is something that will continue throughout it. We should have planned draft better. I think that could be true.
I think it's interesting they were doing the draft in the chat instead of voice comms.
Oh no, I was. This is like quotes of people saying it. Yeah,
okay.
Pretty sure it's a transcript. All right,
Gotcha.
I am loading into the game right now. Yeah, it looks like we should have planned draft better is the conclusion. So I don't think anyone's placing blame on anyone. It seems to just be a team-wide failure to anticipate what was going to happen.
Does that make it better though? The not mad, not mad, not mad spam that we now know it was voice. Like.
Oh, I think that wasn't a quote.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody knew what was going on apparently. So I don't really think that spells a lot of success going into this,
Into minion swarm.
but we could see. I don't know. I definitely think there is an angle to kind of build a team around Renekton Mordekaiser. I just don't necessarily think Vel'Koz and Jhin are the champs to do it there. With Swain taken off the table, I honestly think like Zillion speeding up the Renekton and Mord could have been huge, but we unfortunately don't get to see that.
Yeah, I got clapped by Mordekaiser today in solo queue. Mordekaiser jungle. He went 7-0. It was
Jeez.
quite powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is probably just going to be another rough game. Janley's going to need to get some huge advantages on some of their carries to be able to pull this one out. I wonder
They
if
can do
the
it. I mean,
lack of
it's
draft
possible.
planning has to do with the result of the first game, but who knows?
If Vel'Koz can win his lane, which he should, and the Renekton can make some plays, get an early solo kill, it could definitely snowball. But
I mean, I definitely would not estimate Cam's Echo. He's quite good at the champion, and I don't think he would have picked into Vel'Koz if he thought he was going to lose it. Yeah, we see here. Oh wait, actually, I did not realize Cam is the one playing Neela, and Dave is actually mid on the Echo. I have no clue if Dave plays Echo or not. So undo everything I've said.
it does count. Not a bad trade for the Vel'Koz there.
Yeah. Jackson managed to win that trade even though he took a tower shot, I think. Set does have better regen than him long term though, which should make it tough.
I wonder if the set top was inspired by the Bliplo. Oh, here we go.
And might be able to pick up first blood here. The passive burn is coming in huge. The ghost is down. I believe... Yeah, Dave should just be out here. Had to burn flash and ignite in that trade though.
Yeah, the Vel'Koz has both of his summoners. He's going to shove out mid, and he has the teleport to get the ideal purchase from the shop. So this lane should be pretty easy sailing.
Yep. Jackson might manage to win
the
this
dash
one.
behind. The dash behind.
Oh. I mean, that's the trade of... Wait, the ignite's still up. I think if he burned ignite, he could have gotten it. I think he flashed, assuming he'd be able to auto, and then once set flash, he's out of range of the ignite. That's tragic.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't ignite even before that.
Yeah, an early ignite for sure would have gotten the kill. Unlucky.
Maybe he just kind of forgot and thought he was using TP.
Yep. This should be a good bait. Jackson should be able to get the CC chain off here. First blood given to Mordekaiser. The is for me minion emote coming in clutch. Kind of repping that Anne's former team at is for me. And might be able to get a second one here. Is definitely going for an under tower. Is able to get a second kill, but dies in return.
I think that's fine though, because
Yeah.
Renekton's going to shove this out. Now Set does have the TP, but this Renekton getting this early, these early kills, or the Mordekaiser getting these 2 early kills, pretty huge.
Definitely. I don't know. For Mordekaiser, definitely you just want to hit a point where you can 1v1 literally anyone. I think particularly on jungle Mordekaiser, or I guess something that you have to worry about on lane Mordekaiser that you don't have to worry about on jungle Mordekaiser is being able to ult the jungler and beat the jungle. Because your ult around important objectives is going to be very different than if you're playing Mordekaiser in lane. Because instead of ulting people away so that they can't smite the dragon, if you ult while the dragon's up, you can't smite it. So it's definitely a different playstyle.
Yeah. Do you remember when Mordekaiser used to ult dragon and carry it and walk around
Yes.
the dragon as a pet?
So fun. I do also remember the guy who had like the GitHub page that tracked how many Mordekaiser bugs there were, and it was like consistently more than the number of champions in the game. But definitely a loss felt by everyone.
I know. It's so funny though.
I mean, I hated laning into a top lane because he would just like get you to like 300 health, and then he'd just like ult ignite you, and you'd just like sit there and just burn to death over like 10 seconds.
It was like the longest, slowest, most painful death possible.
Yeah. Alright, we're seeing a jungle scrimmage here, and I think has gotten it back on their gold, but maybe not. The Vel'Koz ulti comes down, which is pretty huge. Anne's looking quite low here.
Has mana to do
Yeah.
much else, so the issue there.
Oh, Stanley's able to pick up the kill in return, and the Nami bubble should secure another one.
Dead.
Has to burn the flash.
Oh, no, I don't think he has enough. No.
First strike on the auto attack, huge.
What's Vel'Koz maxing? Is it W or Q?
Here, I can check. Oh, W.
Okay, yeah, that's more of like the shove the lane route where you're just trying to get the wave into the turret. But Q there would have been Q would have gotten him the kill if he had max Q, but
Well, Janley is
I do like
actually
W.
winning across the map this game, I think. Which is definitely different from how the first game went. They're up to about 1,000 gold lead. No dragons have been taken yet, but Mordekaiser's looking for a play on the bot side. Could be huge. They have no vision. Anne does have the ghost available, but misses the pull, so probably not going to commit to anything. The level 7 Echo is kind of terrifying.
yeah, he just chunks more pretty hard there.
Oh, Jackson got hit by the true damage there and just has to disengage. Burns Ignite for it. He might not be able to pick up the 2v1 if they wait until the ult expires.
I think he's dead.
Okay, he's able to pick up a kill into set, and he should be able to just kill Jarvan here.
Yep.
Yep, really well played by Jackson.
Like, remember what I said the win condition is here? We need the solo lanes to pop off.
True.
That's what we need.
It's definitely happening. Alright, now the ghost comes through. It's still not level 5, but you don't really want to ult when you have your bot lane to help you. Seraphine ulti comes in huge. Jake does not have enough mana to get his ulti off there.
Vel'Koz needs to be careful here.
Yeah, I saw that ulti sitting right next to him.
Yep.
Okay,
There's just-
the good reaction flash. That should be enough to get the kill.
Oh
Forces
my.
out the ultimate, and he had barely enough mana for that.
Yeah, Ignite was not quite back up yet. You can see it's coming up in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. If Stanley did not have the reaction to flash that, which I think most of us probably wouldn't have, would have been an insane play, but instead it's just a nice flash trade, and he'll have a kill pressure advantage when his Ignite comes back up.
The Vel'Koz should be able to teleport back to lane here, shove it in, so that he can position safely in the lane.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to walk through. I think he misses like 2 or 3 minions for that, but that really doesn't matter. He should be able to slowly shove it out before Dragon. Interesting to see if there'll be a fight on that, or if the teams will prioritize the Rift Herald instead. I think generally the Rift Herald is considered to be the better objective at 8 minutes, but with the buff Dragons that might slowly change.
I mean, I think so. I personally like the Rift Herald prioritization more, but I guess it depends on how you plan to play the game. If you do want to go late and scale, I guess I could see why you would want the Dragons, but...
Yeah, I feel like the Dragons are really good if you feel like your team is slightly worse in the late game, because then you can pick up early drags to get a huge Dragon lead, which will kind of make your comp actually be better in the late game just because of the buff that your whole team has. But otherwise, getting that early gold lead is good for both scaling and early game teams. Jackson might look for another solo kill here. Should be pretty easy for him to get. The Dominus is back up, but instead just trades and gets rid of about half of Toppy's health.
Yeah. And I do like the way he's playing the Renekton. He's not taking extended trades. He's just winning the lane. I mean, he's got a solid 40 CS lead
Yeah,
almost.
it's disgusting.
He's gonna trade right here.
He
And
might just be able to pick up the kill. Yeah, pops the Dominus.
Yeah, he ignited, so that should be it. This
Oh.
is too deep, though. That's too deep. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think you just take the flash there and get out. Unfortunate.
Good by set, though. Good play by
Yep.
set there.
For sure. That's going to get set a bit closer to the Bork. I still think Renekton is probably going to end up beating them there just because of the 35 CS lead. Fight looks to be happening bot lane, but might not actually result in anything. Jarvan was able to pick up the Rift Herald while that fight top lane was happening, which is going to get set really fed, which might counter out some of... Actually, all the gold's just being given to Gould here. Stanley TP's top to cover it. Jarvan actually just slides through, has to flash, and it does not save his life.
Yep, when that... It's like you can just see that true damage proc just about to happen, and it just sneaks up on you, the damage.
Yeah. Like, took out half his health in, like, one ability.
And now Vel'Koz is getting scary. That's the thing about Vel'Koz is, like, you could punish him early, especially with, like, Jarvan Echo, but, you know, he's strong even when behind, and if he's ahead, he's a menace.
Yeah, I feel like he might be able to get popped pretty easily, but it would only really be able to happen through the Echo. No one else really has the tools they need to approach him, unless Seraphine's able to hit pretty good ultimates.
I really hope he goes Leandry's. Some people do go to the Ludens, but I really like the Leandry's a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good in this team comp as well, especially when Set and Jarvan are there. Definitely adds a lot of tankiness that Leandry's helps burn through. What you're saying about the Bard is definitely correct and able to stop it, but I think the Seraphine actually has the same thing going, because Jhin and Vel'Koz standing still allows her to just line up really good ultimates to charm them into her ult team.
And I don't play Seraphine, and I honestly don't know too much about her, but doesn't she get some kind of extended range on her ultimate?
Yes, if she hits any champion, it extends the range. Allied or enemy.
Yeah, and that should be... It should... Okay, let's see what happens.
Oh, Jackson dodges the empowered W.
And Renekton should just back off here.
Yep. Yeah.
Just, you know, go back to trading and just slow roll it, you know? Don't have to force it so hard. I like the chroma he's got for this...
Oh, that's a huge fight. He was not able to pull out any there, unfortunately.
Yeah, they sent the goon squad after him.
Oh, and might just be dead here. Gets the ulti off onto the Seraphine. It could be enough. The Seraphine ult comes down during the Mordekaiser ulti, and Anne is not able to get the passive off and get the kill. The slow during the charm actually was really important there. Like, some people would be quick to question why you would Seraphine ult to target when you're Mordekaiser ulted, so you're guaranteed to only hit one. But the slow prevents Mordekaiser from just running her down, which was pretty big. And the no in alt chat afterwards. Pretty funny.
This bot lane's been pretty quiet, and it's extremely even.
Yeah, I feel like Nyla's going to scale better. The Seraphine is definitely going to scale the best out of the 4 champions, I feel like. But
that was a really good play by the Echo there.
Yeah.
Super smart play. Didn't even have to burn the ult, and unfortunately Vel'Koz didn't quite get the stopwatch play he wanted there.
Right. I mean, having the flash advantage is pretty big. Cam's able to get the exhaust down. Jin's probably just dead here. The Jarvan ult traps the Nami and kind of forces Jhin into a terrible position as well. Really well played there. Cam manages to stay alive,
no way.
but dies to Anne. Gets the double kill though, really impressive. Root almost hits from Seraphine, but it's not enough. And then basically out of nowhere, that's a 2k gold lead for Mimaw. It's kind of completely changing the course of the game after those last
so
couple
crazy.
skirmishes.
I know, it's so crazy. We were just talking about how the solo lanes were starting to kind of pull ahead, and then all of a sudden, the Echo and the Set are 3-1 and 3-2.
Yeah. I mean, one was a solo kill and one was a 3v1, but... Oh, Jackson! That's insane solo kill. Really smart to get the Dominus in the bush, fully stack up that Fury, and then flash out and get the kill. That was awesome.
Very smart there. The Set couldn't have known that he had the full rage bar, but you know.
Yeah. Okay, Echo
Big
does
damage
have
going
ultimate
on
here.
Echo.
Doesn't use it. He's just pathing directly towards that honey fruit, get his health back up, and then he'll have the ult to use later on in the fight. Jackson should be able to grab top tower here. Might take a few tower shots to do it. Looks like he's actually going to just back off and get it next wave. But he has no way to get here for the fight. So this is going to be a 4v4. And ult schooled early on, which allows the Nihilist to just run onto the backside of the fight. Misses a lot of Qs in the ultimate, so isn't able to get the stat boost.
Do you think Mord is not confident that he can 1v1 the Nyla?
I think it's good that he's not trying, because Nyla being able to block the auto attacks would make it basically impossible for Mord to kill her. Especially with the dashes, she's able to just dodge the E and Q.
Okay, I don't know about this auto attack blocking. I don't know much about her, but
Yeah, she's got like basically Jaxi, and she can give it to her teammates. It's kind of stupid.
so okay, I see why you would want to ult her.
Yeah. I mean, what I would be doing as Mordekaiser in this situation is play with your team. Just try and stack up your passive as fast as possible, and then apply that like Riftmaker burn to as many people in the enemy team, because they're pretty close range. So kind of like the same that the Swain was working in the previous game, where you want a lot of people standing right next to you, just burning in your AoE damage over time. And then once someone gets low, preferably the Echo, you'd want to ult them, because that way you can get their stats. Because Mordekaiser benefits the most from Echo's stats, and I don't think it's even close. Because Seraphine doesn't really have enough items to be super worth it to Mordekaiser. And getting the Echo off of your backline is pretty huge. So if you kind of play towards your squishy carries and block the enemy team from getting on them, stack up with your Q and autos, get that passive burn, and then when Echo goes in, ult the Echo. Should be pretty easy to win fights that way.
I don't think he wants anything to do with this level 13 set right now.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, Anne started off the game pretty well, but has just kind of gotten dunked on by the enemy team, which is the opposite of how it went last game. But
Just falling apart right here in the mid game, and you know, the Janley team definitely falls off. The Renekton falls off a little bit.
yeah, Mordekaiser is like
We
super
might see.
dependent on getting some sort of lead, or at least being close enough to having a lead that when you gain 10% of whoever you're fighting, you're stronger than them. But at this point, Mordekaiser plus 10% of any of the champions on the enemy team is just not better than them. So the champion is definitely super behind. I don't know. Jhin Vel'Koz could be enough to get something done, especially with the Nami, but having a weak front line in the Mordekaiser who kind of disappears if he ults someone, and then Renekton eventually kind of getting outscaled is pretty rough for them.
That is where they do have their scaling, is the Vel'Koz. You know, he does the true damage, and he does turn into like a late game monster, but I don't think the Vel'Koz is going to get to do this too many times.
Yeah, that was huge. It actually got the flash out of the Seraphine, and here we go on the Nyla. Nyla dodges the E there. Auto attack blocking. And the Nami gets the kill onto the Nyla. That is the last person you wanted getting all that gold, but at least
So
they
it's
get the
definitely
shutdown.
KS, but it's a kill secure, I think. More
Right.
than a kill control.
Yep.
All
And
right.
now Anne is pretty strong here. is not able to get into the Jarvan wall. Stanley's dead, and that's another KS, but of the 4 kills Ann should have gotten there, they got 2, with Nami getting 2 of them, but it's just unfortunate.
But it was, I think, a fight that they'll take, given the circumstances that they were in, and that the fact that the Renekton's up here on the turret for free right now.
I mean, 3 for 2 isn't terrible. Or I guess it was a 4 for 2. That's definitely not that bad. Actually, I don't know. Maybe the Jhin died. It was a long fight. I don't know. The Jarvan is definitely also falling off. Yeah, Vel'Koz was huge. Hard agree there. He is going to
has the
Ludens.
QSS, you see that? So she is expecting to get mortaled now.
Yeah, I mean, the extra
maybe
magic
that
resist
was-
is also huge for Nami and Vel'Koz as well.
Someone told me that QSS got buffed.
It did.
Is that true? Okay.
I think it might have just been Mercurial that got the buff, just to encourage people to complete the item, but I think it is an increased effect duration, and for the one that, what's the one that no one builds? Silvermere Dawn. That one has increased slow resist and tenacity after you pop the QSS.
You know, I've always wanted them to.
Oh, Jackson just loses this one. He has definitely gotten outscaled. The flash after the auto attack always sucks. It's like, you never know what's going to happen, and then when it does, it just feels bad.
Yeah, and Renekton went to Sunfire. Good for the team fight, but not going to help him in that one.
Right. Okay, Ann does another ult on a full health target. I don't think this one's going to pan out. Yeah, they're able to get Gould low. I guess it stops the engage.
Oh my god.
But, oh, and that's a huge Nyla ulti. The shield bow pops, keeping her alive.
I think they can just kite out. Like, they have so much damage. Did you see that Vel'Koz ult there?
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
disgusting.
Honestly, they're winning fights that I just didn't expect them to be able to win. So that, you know, like,
That's gonna be bad.
I think the Nami outplay with the bubble though.
Yep,
That's worth.
that is huge.
That's a shutdown on the Vel'Koz. I think he just picked up a blue buff too. He might come over here and throw some stuff over the wall. And he could kill them.
Yeah, we have Vel'Koz and Renekton converging here.
She could be dead here.
Especially with Renekton for the
Oh,
setup.
they're dead.
Oh no, the Renekton W got blown into Nyla, whatever, I don't know, you know, the cringe ability. I'll call it that. Oh, and now Jarvan's here.
Jarvan
This is
should just smite the dragon though. Jarvan should smite that dragon.
Yep. That was really unfortunate. Now the whole team's here. The Jarvan ult comes down, locks 4 in it,
Okay.
which allows the set to get out. But not much
I mean,
else.
it was a beautiful ult.
Yeah.
It didn't do much, but it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that 4 champions that... Wait, who did he...
Yeah, he got
Who did he ult?
4 in there.
4 champions, I think, that have no dash ability. So
Well, Renekton.
just the value from the Jarvan ult is actually insane.
Renekton had already burned the dash though, so he was stuck in it for the
Okay.
whole duration. Able to get the stun out of the Echo, almost gets him before the ulti, but because he didn't, this fight's pretty doomed.
Yeah, I think it's just little overstays like that might prevent Janley from getting to the late game that they need to get to right now. But I mean, that's like poking holes. Like, they just made great plays bottom.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get ahead and take any advantage that they can. They know they have to get something off of these wins. They can't just win a fight and then go back home and, you know. Unfortunately, this time it cost them a Baron. And suddenly, Echo is 9-3.
Yeah, and then the set's sitting up there 7-3 as well after losing lane, at least initially. It's pretty rough for Janley. You get these advantages in the early game, and they kind of just fall away as the game advances. Set doing the wise move of picking up the chainsword. I know it got buffed pretty hard in 12-14 or 12-13 maybe. It was one of the patches. I don't know if it's still like disgustingly OP, but a champion, the item got like 200 gold cheaper or something. Pretty good pickup. Especially into the Mordekaiser and the Nami and the Renekton, like you're cutting a lot of heals there. Oblivion Orb is picked up for Seraphine and also the Bramble for Jarvan, so it's going to be pretty much applied to the whole team. Janley is still slow to get their heal cut though, only having the Oblivion Orb not yet completed into Putrefire on Nami. I feel like a lot of teams will say like, we can have our Enchanter build Putrefire and no one else needs heal cut, but the Putrefire usually isn't online until like 30 minutes into the game, whereas your solo laners can pick up a Bramble or a Chainsword, or I guess Executioner's pretty early on. Whereas if you are relying on that Enchanter to provide it for the whole team, it's going to take a while to do.
Yeah.
And especially with Nyla and Jarvan and Set, and even Echo with his ultimate, and obviously Seraphine healing everyone. That team is just disgusting. Relying on just the Putrefire later on in the game is going to be pretty rough.
Man, this is gonna be a tough. If they get into a team fight.
I mean, Echo isn't here. This could be big, but Jacob just gets picked off. He's able to get the ulti out and apply Mandate onto all 5 members, I believe, or all 4 members that are present. And just ulted Set out of the Vel'Koz ulti. A bit of anti-synergy there. Might still be able to secure the kill. Yeah, picks up the 750 gold shutdown for themselves. Jackson dashes in, is not able to pick anything up. So that's a 1-for-1.
I think he needs to return top for the Echo who's split pushing.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to make a play here, but I mean...
Oh, especially now with Mordekaiser backing. And Mordekaiser completes the back. Oh, there's no comms here. And Seraphine ult hits both. That was just unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it's a lack of concentration, you know.
Yeah, Ghost should allow Ann to pick up another kill there, so that's a lot of, that's like basically 1,000 gold given to them in the past minute. Closer to 1,500, but...
And there's still 3 dead on the side of Janley. I think if they wanted to, they could have stayed.
Yeah, I think they
Maybe
might just
they're
back off, grab the drag, because that puts you at soul point, which will be really helpful later on.
Yeah, I mean... Unfortunate, unlucky the Nami kind of got caught out a little bit. They put down some good damage actually, were able to pick up a kill. But I think when Echo split pushing top, you know, maybe they just don't force the play and try to get back into it slowly. But I could understand why they want to force the issue and try to get back into the game.
I mean, this is pretty rough. That's like a 6,000 gold lead. Echo is insanely fed, and Nyla and Seraphine just got a huge lead off of that fight. Jarvan and Set didn't get any stronger, but they were going to fall off anyway. Gould gets his back cancelled by Death Stance passive. True tragedy. That item makes it impossible to back, which is really annoying when your base is getting destroyed by the enemy team. I've had that one happen to me a couple of times. I think Set's just going to butcher Renekton up here. The Butcher of the Sands being butchered himself.
Oh, good damage from the Renekton though.
Yeah. Oh, that W
Echo.
came out way too late. That was actually an unfortunate misplay there. You want to pop the W when you have full stacks. Did Nyla cancel? Oh, Nyla QSS the ultimate, but it didn't matter.
Someone.
Yeah, Echo just popped the
I
Nami.
didn't even see what happened. It was so quick.
Yeah, Echo one-shot Nami. All they needed was Proto, I believe.
Good play by the Renekton though. Again, I mean he's made a couple of questionable plays, but he's still able to get these solo kills and keep his team into the game for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, especially in like high pressure situations like this, like you're playing 30 minutes at a game, you're a game deep in the series, everyone's going to make small mistakes, so the fact that Jackson didn't make any allowed him to perform pretty well there.
No way.
And Dave is dead. Stanley
Vel'Koz
had a
damage
really
is
good
there.
read. Yeah, I mean, he just
was,
lined up the line through where Echo was and also through where Echo had to be when he ulted, so really good play there from Stanley.
And Vel'Koz has the Shadow Flame now. That's going to help a lot.
I mean, there's what, a shield on every single member of the enemy team.
Yeah,
It's a lot of value.
insane value. I'm trying to think. Is it still, should Mordekaiser still be ulting Jarvan? Do you think ult priority has changed at all here?
I mean, I think I still stand by what I said earlier, where the Mordekaiser ult should be on the Echo.
On the Echo for the stats, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
think-
they're
I
going
think
for the
it's
early ult
because-
to prevent the Cataclysm from doing anything, which has
Yeah.
been pretty good, but Jarvan's kind of falling off now, so you're not getting much value when you do eventually kill the Jarvan.
I was thinking maybe because, you know, Echo's shield, like his W inside of the Mord realm, is pretty much a free land. Like, you pretty much
That's
just
fair.
get landed for free. And so maybe that's the thinking behind it, not ulting the Echo.
Oh, that's a good route there. Not able to convert off of it, but definitely looking. Echo is still split pushing. Dragon isn't up for 2 minutes though, so Janley being grouped as 5 in the river doesn't really get them anything. They definitely should have like a couple people at least looking to match the Echo once he gets back. Stanley hits a knockoff onto the set and looks to move in, but doesn't fully commit for it.
Huge item acquisitions, by the way, from Janley. Vel'Koz now has the Zhonya's, and Mord has the stopwatch, so that could be huge game changers for the next fight.
Yeah, Mord is basically full build at this point. Dave is almost hit the one shot, and there's the ulti onto the Echo. That's huge for stats. I honestly,
just said,
we could see.
the Zhonya's on the Vel'Koz, right
Yep.
there. Huge. And they cannot walk into a choke here. I mean, it's rough if they do.
Right, Mordecai through it with Echo stats is going to burn through this dragon. It's not even going to be funny. If a fight comes out, that ghost is just going to get popped.
Oh, what a bubble from
Yep,
Nami. What an
huge.
insane Nami bubble right there. That was a difference from Zed getting the double.
Oh my gosh, wait, Gold just stole the Baron.
Wow.
And Cam's in
And they're
base,
gonna
shredding the
they're gonna
inhib.
pick up an inhib. I don't want to see all 5 members of Janley's back. I want to see some of them push a lane out and get something off of the
Yeah,
not the
okay.
ace, but the 4 kills that they got.
Yeah, Mordecai's just walking straight to dragon and hit a couple minions in midwave, so about 80% of what you said. Cam just spam pings Gould Smite, showing huge respect there. That play was awesome. Just pops the flag and drag into the pit. Whole team of Janley was focused on something else, and he's easily able to grab that one.
Yeah.
Nyla might be able to make a play here on the dragon, but Mordekaiser's really good at taking objectives with his passive, so might not be super contestable.
This game's definitely a banger though. I like to see games like this much more than just a stomp, you know.
Yeah. I feel like the only
Did
time
they
I've
actually
ever...
just one-shot the blue buff? What the hell is that?
I believe so. The only time I've ever enjoyed a stomp was that that one Damwon game at MSI a year or so back where they picked Diana Yasuo and absolutely smurfed, but you know, unless they're doing something fun,
Yeah.
just games like this are so much more fun to watch.
The Renekton gets out there, but that might not be.
Renekton ults the
best.
set. If he's able to kill him, this could be big.
No way.
Barely doesn't get it. So no stats given over, but
What?
Valkyrie's ulti is huge. The Hourglass is back up. Cam might die here. Is actually able to pick up the Nami, and Dave comes in on the
Echo's
back,
here.
wiping the team. Jin, pretty accurate there,
Okay.
able to pick up another kill. This is a 3 for 3 so
Oh!
far. Stanley almost gets the kill.
I think he said if they time it. Okay, he didn't have cooldowns.
Yeah.
Man, what a
Oh,
crazy fight
Echo's still
again.
sitting on ulti. This could be bad.
Yeah, but
Jin
he's
getting
not
so
gonna get.
close to getting it.
He's not gonna one shot with the ult, and he won't be at full health or close to it even. So I think it's wise to just back off there.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe Janley is just pulling these fights out somehow. Like, that was a crazy play by the Mordekaiser picking up the kill in the set. The Vel'Kai's just destroying the whole team. Thankfully, Jin was able to pick up some like a kill off of his ulti there.
Yeah.
Man,
Ooh, Jin opts for the rapid fire cannon here instead of the Infinity Edge. I feel like Infinity Edge, third item on him, is pretty good. Obviously, rapid fire is very nice to have on Jin as well, but missing that extra damage on your ulti kind of sucks.
I want to see this. Oh, is he going? Okay, the Vel'Kai's just going much eyes. I personally would have gone the Void Staff, but I mean, they don't have MR, so he technically doesn't need it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it would still be nice to have versus Set and Jarvan. Those champions are just innately tanky. Echo is going for the Void Staff. The decap on Vel'Kai's should give him quite a bit of damage. Dave's sitting on 773 AP on the Echo, and Stanley at 685 right now. Both of them will do a lot of damage if they can get onto you.
Wait, has Vel'Kai's had the ring the whole game, or is that a noob? Like, did he pick it up before that last fight?
Probably just before the last fight.
Okay.
I
So
don't
he
remember
could
though.
just spell it out late, and
Yeah.
if he wanted to later.
Oh, Dave goes in, gets the flash, and here the ult comes down onto
There's the
Echo, but this is just going to get stalled out. The loss of the
think he wanted
Mordekaiser ult
to-
sucks there. It's so
Yeah.
unfortunate.
It makes sense the play because now that Jin has no flash, he kind of wants to punish the Echo. It's like, you know, you just got the Jin's flash for free. We can't let you get away, but
Yeah. I mean, the good news is the Mordekai's ulti will be back up about 30 seconds before either of these objectives are up. So if they just want to wait and fight at a more opportune time when they have the Mordekaiser ults available, it could be big. But Jackson ults in the backline, does not quite have flash yet, but does have Ignite. Almost fully
Set's not
burns
there.
down the Seraphine. Set is now here, but they're
he's
able to
here.
do a 1-for-1. Nyla hits 3, Jarvan ult to follow, and Mordekaiser's gone because he has no
That's
ulti. And
What a
that
good
should
fight
just
by
end the
them.
game.
that was an insane fight. Basically a 4v5 because the set didn't get theirs to the end pretty much,
Yeah.
but shout out to Janley for bringing that one back and making it a super close game though, because I mean I thought for a while that they were gonna get steamrolled.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like MVP this game has got to go to that Echo. Just personally, I think he played really, really well. Struggled a little bit in the early game, but brung it around by just absolutely one-shotting a few of the champions.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That was a great game for the Echo, especially because he went down a little bit at the beginning, came back into it, made plays. Crazy damage from both mid laners, but
Yeah, I mean, that game just kind of kept you on the edge of your seat. It felt like Mimaw's was like slowly winning, but I feel like if one fight went like slightly better for Janley, it could have just completely swung. They were close to getting also to that 3 dragon stack threshold, and with Infernal they could have completely turned the tide of the game, but unfortunately just like slight misexecutions in some of the team fights led to Mimaw's just winning more than they lost, and that last fight looked like it was going to be a great flank from Renekton. Almost was able to burst out the Seraphine, but unfortunately just missing out on enough damage to get the kill kind of spelled disaster because she was able to get her ult off, and then the team fight for Mimaw is just a lot better when you have multiple members on the enemy team charmed up. And that Mordekaiser ult not being there also was just really unfortunate. I mean, it's very easy to kind of see an angle where you want to go in as Renekton, catch a stun, but not having all your cooldowns up makes it harder to win fights generally. Something that can definitely be worked on for later matches in the season, though, because it's like just like a slight team coordination thing. Overall, their macro play was pretty good throughout the rest of that game. Definitely a lot closer than some teams would have had it be, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think Janley had a lot of good moments in both games. Even the first game, there were some moments, but I think there were a couple of like forced plays, like bottom when Renekton kind of tried to force a play to happen because they wanted to get something off getting that kill, while Echo was kind of pushing top, and then just like little things like that, just kind of overplaying their hand, but they still made it a game. So
Yeah, I mean, even though the result is 2-0, I think that series honestly felt pretty fun to watch and didn't feel like a complete stomp. First game was pretty rough, but ending on a close game is always better than ending on a stomp, so I don't know. GG's to everyone playing, obviously. Mimi has said in chat that she hit a 5-man Seraphine ulti at the end of the game. Kind of goes with what I was saying regarding Renekton not being able to get the pick fast enough, but did not realize quite the gravity that failure to get the kill had. Props to everyone who played. Don't think there's anyone in that series who really played poorly. Everyone definitely gave it their best shot and had crazy plays, so looking forward to see more from both of these teams. I believe Janley has one match left in the first round robin, and Mimaw has about 3, so we get to see a lot more of their gameplay, which I'm certainly excited for.
yeah, it's anybody's. I think there's nobody kind of like leading the way right now. There's no like super dominant team in my eyes. I think like anybody can still beat anybody. So it's definitely been a good league so far.
Yeah, I mean, not a single team has more than 2 wins at this point, which is pretty exciting, I think. Pretty even going in. Mimaw's is going to technically be at the top of the standings at 2-0 after that game, and then Kitten Grooming Service and Silicats are going to be sitting at 2-1, and then Closeted Furries will be at 2-2, but who knows who will be losing or winning these games. I think Silicats and Mimaw's still need to play, so that guarantees that at least one of the teams will be at 3 wins by the end of the first round robin, which I think also statistically that should have been obvious that at least one team will need to be at 3, but no one has finished their first 5 games yet, so a lot can change before we hit that like mid-season break.
And the newer teams will start to kind of find their groove because the teams that have played together before already kind of have that built-in synergy. Um, it's always the first couple of rough at first, the first couple of games, but once some of these teams get to play with their roster more, some of those like miscommunications that like we saw in that game, for example, will stop happening as often anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I am terrified if that is Mimaw's second game and they're going to scale as hard as you're saying. They could be an absolute like menace to face later on, but I don't know. Them sitting at 2 series played and some of the other teams higher up in the standings only being at 3, I don't think that's like a huge gap, so I don't know. Will be fun to see how the rest of the matches go, especially against those teams at the top. Silicats versus Mimaws is one I'm for sure looking forward to. Should be a banger.
Yeah, no bias here, but I'm looking forward to seeing Closeted Furries versus them as well.
True. I think should be a fun game. I feel like Blake versus Cam is always or Blake versus both Cam and Dave is just a fun matchup in general. They definitely get their banter between each other, so might see some all chatting. Could be fun, and definitely going to be some interesting draft shenanigans. Blake and Dave and Cam all being in the same draft lobby is something that leads to interesting results. So should be a good time. I'm
I'm down
probably
for it.
going to cut the stream here, Gotta eat. Gotta fix some website stuff before the series tonight, or before the sign up scrim tonight. So if anyone is interested in casting that, I'm pretty sure we have 10 players and no one to cast. But if not, we'll probably just not be streamed. But we'll see. Anyone who is watching the next game, it's scheduled to be determined.
Sounds good.
All right. Peace.